Join us for another FSD Supervised Early Access drive out to Eltham, which is about a 50-minute drive from where we are currently located. Here at the start, we are just driving over some train tracks, which it usually does handle with a slight bit of caution, slowing down slightly, but the smoothness is just incredible over these things. Here FSD comes to a stop for the red light and the red arrow, then waits for the red arrow to switch off, proceeds forward slowly into the intersection, looks for pedestrians on our right and continues directly into Taronga Village. Here, as I'm changing the route, FSD notices someone walking up ahead. Although they don't have a zebra crossing, FSD still yields to this pedestrian, proceeding smoothly through the roundabout. Here FSD comes out of the right-hand turn lane to make a right-hand turn, sticking with the lane for the most of the way and then eventually veering out over to the left lane, which is technically legal, but it would have been much preferred if the car indicated to make that left lane merge. Here, after sitting behind the slow lane for too long, I decide to press the right indicator to merge us into the right-hand lane to see if we can go a little faster, which FSD just complies with and does totally seamlessly. Continuing to stick just to the left-hand side of the lane to keep the wheels off the tram tracks, unlike the car in front of us, which has its wheels on the tram tracks, just to keep the tyres to the left-hand side of the lane so that there's no slippage and it's just a more comfortable ride, riding on the asphalt rather than the tram tracks. It turns out the car's smarter than me, so I put on the left blinker to get us back in the left lane, as the right lane turned out not to be any faster, and it did make the merge very well when there wasn't actually that much of a gap behind us, which was very impressive and assertive to see. Right here, this lane merges from one lane to two, and it looks like FSD is a little unsure for a second, but then proceeds to the left-hand lane, which was done very smoothly and seamlessly. Coming down this hill, it's a sharp left-hand turn, which FSD slows down for incredibly smoothly behind those cars in front, doesn't slam on the brakes like autopilot would, goes around the corner, getting into the right-hand lane very, very, very smoothly around that bus. I was very impressed at the time. Although this did not cause a disengagement, FSD comes into the right-hand lane to make the right-hand turn. Then I noticed it sort of sticking in the middle of the two lanes before making a decision to stick to the left-hand lane, then making the turn perfectly and picking up speed. I did send the recording to Tesla so they can review that. Another thing I noticed was just at this next little curve here on the left right here, I thought it was getting very close. I nearly took over, but it was all okay, so I sent that recording to Tesla as well. This was probably the most complex maneuver FSD had to complete on this drive. It waits for the car in front of us to go in the middle lane, which also turns right, as then we have to make an instant left, as you can see on the map preview. We execute the right-hand turn well, sticking to the lane, keeping to the left. Right about here, it whacks on the left indicator. What I did notice is that it sort of went across the first left-hand turn lane into the second one, which was alright, probably something I would not have done. Although this is the better lane, I just wouldn't have driven over the solid line. It moves into the second to far right lane, which is also the middle lane. It needs to get over to the right lane pretty soon, as we've got a turn in probably 300 meters. Now, as you can see on the visualizations, there is a car to my right. As we pull up to this green light, then there is a gap that precedes itself for us. So we do have a gap on our right here, and I'm ready to press the right indicator, as I didn't have much faith that it was going to merge into the right-hand lane. It is the next right-hand turn that we need to make, so then I do end up pressing it. Although looking back at this footage now, I think it could have made it, but I just did not want to miss this right turn, as it would have led to quite the detour. It comes in well here, sticks to the left-hand lane, which is good. Slows down appropriately for this right angle turn. And off we go into an 80 zone. Although it's hard to tell on the camera, as you come over this hump in the road, there's usually a red light ahead of you and you have to come to quite a sudden stop. But here, FSD handled it so impressively smoothly. Although the cars weren't backing up the road like they usually are, it just comes to a gradual stop behind the red car in front of us. Probably smoother than I would have been able to do so myself. another example of FSD's enhanced safety features. As you come into this junction, you can either go right or you can go left. Getting in the right lane makes you go straight. FSD sees these cars way out and is just already gradually slowing down, as sometimes cars thunder down this road and they don't have any time to stop. I do press the left indicator to get into a faster flowing lane, and I try to press the left indicator again a couple of times, as you can see, but it does turn it off as cars are trying to turn left, blocking that lane, and they're coming very fast from behind around a corner, so it is quite blind. Here, FSD is in the left lane and it needs to merge into the right, which it does absolutely seamlessly. I thought I might have to intervene, but it found a gap, courtesy of the car behind, and merges in to this one lane road. Although the rest of this drive was quite unnotable, here it drives into direct sun glare. I could barely see the road and did not have sunglasses on. FSD could see perfectly. Although the rear vision mirror blocks the sun here, the sun is still beating down onto the windscreen, as you can see. It is fine. Looking at the visualizations, it can still see everything. It can even see the left turn we're about to make into this car park. I was very impressed as it pulled into the car park with not a single little bit of jitteriness, pulling in at a nice wide angle, executing a very smooth zero intervention drive. Thank you for watching.